T-Rex's spirit surged, and it almost overtook the sky in the lead. Finally, the two little devils were letting it go. Using all its remaining strength, it turned and ran away, wishing its mother had given it fewer legs to escape faster. Goodbye, Mr. T-Rex. Goku waved at the retreating T-Rex, which nearly tripped in its haste. Goodbye, or like, hope to never see you again. Ignoring the fleeing T-Rex, Yuujin and Goku resumed their journey. Even though they could see the corn tower from here, it was still quite a distance away, but for them, it would only take about 10 minutes. Before long, Yuujin and Goku arrived at the base of the corn tower. Though he had heard about it, seeing the tower up close left Yuujin in awe. The tower wasn't large in diameter, but it shot straight up into the sky like a white pillar, disappearing into the heavens. It was truly hard to believe what kind of being could create such a miracle. Goku was also very excited, craning her neck to look up at the tower, though she couldn't see the top no matter how hard she tried. At that moment, Yuujin and Goku seemed to notice something, and they both turned toward the nearby forest, where a tall figure emerged. Outsiders, do you wish to challenge the corn tower? At the base of the corn tower, a man handed bowls of prepared food to Goku and Yuujin. Here you go. Thank you. Delicious. The man's name was Bora. He looked like a Native American, with facial markings and a strong physique. According to his own introduction, his family had guarded the tower for generations. This is my son, Yuka. Bora introduced the baby in his arms to Yuujin and Goku. Yuka, Pop, he'll grow up to be a great warrior like you, Yuujin said after tasting some of the food. Thank you. Bora smiled warmly, looking lovingly at his sleeping child. Yuujin, son Goku, do you truly wish to challenge the corn tower? Bora asked. Yes, we want to meet the sage of the top and seek his guidance. Have many people tried to challenge the tower before? Yuujin asked with a nod. Many, but they all failed. Some gave up, while others fell due to lack of food after days of climbing. I've never seen challengers as young as you. Bora looked at Yuujin and Goku seriously. He had attempted to climb the sacred tower in his youth but failed, so he knew very well how difficult it was. Don't underestimate us just because we're young. We're pretty strong, and climbing this tower shouldn't be a problem, Yuujin said with a confident smile. Although he hadn't tried, Yuujin believed he could reach the top. Though hard to believe, I feel you're not lying. It's already late. You can rest here tonight and start the challenge tomorrow morning, Bora said, looking Yuujin in the eye. Thank you for the hospitality. It's no trouble. Hosting brave challengers is part of our duty. Another bowl, please. To be continued. 23 The Hermit Corn Tower. Early the next morning, Bora caught a large fish from a nearby river. After having breakfast together, Yuujin and Goku prepared to climb up Corn Tower. Yuujin, son Goku, good luck. Bora, holding his child Yupa, wasn't much of a talker but expressed his encouragement with the simplest of words. Thank you for your hospitality, Bora. Goodbye, Bora. Yupa. After bidding farewell to the father and son, Yuujin and little Goku leaped onto the tower structure, climbing swiftly using both hands and feet. Watching the two quickly become tiny black dots in the sky, Yupa waved his little hands while Bora showed a look of astonishment. So fast, Yuujin, son Goku. Maybe they really can climb to the top of this corn tower. Horizontal ellipsis. Climbing, 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 la la la, climbing, 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 la la la. By now, the ground below was no longer visible. In midair, Yuujin and little Goku were climbing rapidly, and as they climbed, Goku was singing. Corn Tower was carved with many ancient-looking patterns, reminiscent of the Stone Age, and every so often, there were small protruding ledges to step on, making the climb not too difficult. However, the tower was extraordinarily tall, so much so the countless challengers had failed to reach the top after the Turtle Hermit did it. Some even tried using helicopters to fly up, but they all failed. It was said that unless one climbed up through their own strength, the tower's end would never be in sight. Both Yuujin and little Goku had undergone rigorous training under the Turtle Hermit, so their climbing speed was incredibly fast. Before long, they had passed through the clouds and were already very high up. They climbed continuously for half a day, and neither of them knew exactly how high they had gone, but the tower still shot straight up into the sky with no end in sight. Ugh, Yuujin, I'm so tired. Little Goku's speed gradually slowed as she spoke. Although she was already quite capable for her age, she was still only 5 years old, and climbing one tower was indeed a bit much for her. If you're tired, hop onto my back. Okay. Little Goku climbed onto Yuujin's back, and a happy expression immediately appeared on her face. Yuujin had not been using his full strength before to match Goku's pace, so even though he now carried the extra weight, his speed didn't decrease. In fact, he climbed even faster, with a sudden burst of speed. Yuujin, carrying little Goku, shot up the tower at an incredible rate. This time, it took them only about half an hour to see the end of the tower. Yuujin, look, over there. Pointing at the temple that appeared above their heads, little Goku shouted excitedly. Even Yuujin, though somewhat exhausted after climbing for so long, felt invigorated upon seeing the destination. With a final push, Yuujin climbed up to the bottom of the temple. There were several openings on the sides where the temple connected to the tower, but there were no stairs or ledges to help climb inside. For an average person, it would be extremely difficult to enter the temple without falling. However, this level of difficulty posed no problem for Yuujin and little Goku. Yuujin first threw little Goku up through one of the openings, then leaped in himself, using the walls to propel himself into the temple. We finally made it up, lying on the ground. Yuujin panted slightly. Yuujin, look, it's so big in here. Hey, Master Hermit, where are you? Already curious, little Goku hopped around in the temple, searching for the hermit. Yuujin also stood up and surveyed the surroundings. The temple, which stood high in the sky, was indeed spacious and serene. From the balcony, one could even see the vast sea of clouds below. Little girl, stop shouting. You're going to burst my ears. At that moment, a voice echoed, and then a large white cat walked down from upstairs. Yes, it was a cat, walking on two legs, holding a wooden staff, and plumb. Oh, there's a cat in the temple. Big white cat. Where is the Master Hermit? We are looking for him. Little Goku exclaimed in surprise, then ran over to ask. All Yuujin quickly followed. Goku, be respectful. This is Master Karten, the Hermit of the temple. The Master Hermit is a cat. Little Goku widened her eyes. Why can't a cat be a hermit? I am a sage cat. But young man, do you know me? Karten stroked his whiskers and looked at Yuujin with some surprise. Master Karten, my name is Yuujin, and this is Son Goku. We are both disciples of Master Mutron, Turtle Hermit. After introducing himself to little Goku, Yuujin bowed respectfully to Master Karten. Although the hermit was just a cat, it was an immortal cat that had lived for over 800 years, watching over and protecting the land from this temple. Therefore, Yuujin gave the respect it deserved. So, you're Mutron's disciples. No wonder. Since Mutron left, no one has climbed this temple for hundreds of years. It's quite rare for one so young to make it up here. Karten nodded, looking as if he had just realized something, and then offered praise. He, not you. You just got carried up. Oh, that's not fair. Receiving praise. Little Goku showed a small, proud smile, but quickly fell into a slight slump after being teased by Karten. You young man, little girl, what brings you here? After a little playful teasing, Karten turned to business. Since they were Mutron's disciples, they should know that legends like the ultra divine water were just myths. Master Karten, we would like to ask you to guide our training. Yuujin didn't hide his intentions and stated them directly. Guiding your training? It's fine for the little girl, but young man, man, your power has already surpassed mutants and even mine. I don't have much to teach you. After sensing the energy of Unijin and little Goku, Karin spoke. Possessing power does not necessarily mean being strong. If you don't know how to use it properly, it's just brute force. That's why I'm asking Master Karin to teach me how to use my strength. Unijin said earnestly. Well said, well said. I didn't expect someone so young to understand such a principle. If it's just teaching you how to use your power, I can still guide you. Thank you, Master Karin. Karin nodded, and Unijin's face lit up with a smile. In that case, you can stay here for now. It's already late today, so I'll start instructing you tomorrow. Understood. To be continued. P.S. Master Roshi is also referred to as Mutant Roshi in the series. 24 guidance and training. The next day, Unijin, Goku, from today onwards, I will be guiding your training. But before that, spar with each other and let me see how skilled you both are. Inside the temple, Master Karin spoke to Unijin and Goku. Fight Unijin? Sure, sounds fun. Goku cheerfully replied, bouncing up and down. Since the Turtle Hermit stopped sparring with Unijin 2 years ago, Unijin and Goku had been training together, so this was nothing new for them. Under Master Karin's watchful gaze, Unijin and Goku took their places in the center of the temple and assumed the standard turtle school stance. Unijin, here I come. Bring it on. Wasting no time, Goku launched the first attack, pushing off the ground and shooting toward Unijin like a cannonball. It was a simple body check, but the speed and power behind it were immense. Goku had used this move to bring down countless wild bulls and dinosaurs during hunts. However, for Unijin, this was just a routine attack. He easily blocked Goku's charge with his hands, even though his feet scraped long marks on the ground. His stance remained unshakable. Oh, the real assault began as Goku's fists rained down on Unijin like a storm. The small fists packed a surprising punch. Even Unijin didn't dare let them hit him directly, so he continuously blocked, each flash between them causing muffled bursts in the air. Seeing Unijin's defenses impenetrable, Goku quickly switched strategies, dashing to a pillar of the temple's edge, using it as a springboard to attack Unijin from the side. Already familiar with her fighting style, Unijin split into 5 after images, scattering and evading Goku's strike. Oh, I'm not done yet. Pouting with determination, Goku blurred into motion, creating several after images and chasing after Unijin. Though simple-minded and often absent-minded, Goku showed remarkable talent in martial arts. Not only had she mastered the after image technique, but she had also learned the Kamehameha more than a year ago. The entire temple echoed with the sound of Unijin's and Goku's after images darting around, their battle growing more intense with each passing moment. Master Karin stroked his beard, occasionally nodding in approval, for both Unijin and the little girl to possess such skill at their age was a first, even in his 800-year lifetime. Naturally, Unijin didn't use his full strength against Goku. He kept his power on par with hers, making the fight more about technique and martial prowess. Although Goku had learned most of the techniques Unijin knew, her experience was still lagging. Eventually, Unijin found an opening and landed a punch to her abdomen, sending her crashing into a pillar at the edge of the temple, ending the spar. Ouch, that hurts. Clutching her stomach, Goku winced in pain. Are you alright, Goku? Unijin lifted her from the ground and gently rubbed the spot where she was hit. Goku soon smiled sweetly, acting as if nothing had happened. You both did well. It seems Master Roshi taught you with great care, Master Karin said. However, neither of you coordinated your breathing during the fight, and there were many unnecessary movements. Moreover, you both only reacted to each other's actions rather than anticipating them. You need to be able to read your opponent's moves in advance. And also, Master Karin walks over, first praising them, then pointing out a series of flaws. As an 800-year-old immortal, his experience was vast, and his critiques precisely targeted the areas where Unijin and Goku still needed improvement. These might seem like minor flaws that didn't seem critical to fix, but in martial arts, even a slight mistake could be the difference between victory and defeat. In the vast universe, humans are relatively weak creatures, with frail bodies and no significant natural strength. Even on Earth, they had to rely on their intelligence to reach the top of the food chain. Perhaps because of this, martial arts emerged within human civilization. Martial artists train their bodies and minds, continually refining every minor habit and detail to maximize their limited strength. In contrast, Saiyan civilization had no concept of martial arts because they didn't need it. Saiyans were born with powerful bloodlines, and their strength grew simply by engaging in constant battles, without the need for refinement or technique. For example, if Master Roshi were to duel a strong Saiyan warrior, there's no doubt that he would lose, easily being defeated in seconds. The disparity in raw power was too great. Even if he was revered as the god of martial arts, brute force could crush any skill, and a single energy blast could obliterate him. However, if Master Roshi possessed the same immense strength as a Saiyan warrior, he could easily dominate them all. That is the essence of martial arts. Master Karin continued his lecture, and Unijin listened attentively to every word. Goku, standing nearby, was also listening earnestly, but her little head soon became a bit fuzzy. Did you both understand what I said? After finishing his explanation, Master Karin asked. Unijin nodded, but Goku blinked her big watery eyes in confusion and said, not at all. Master Karin nearly collapsed. So much for all that talking. Well, Master Karin, Goku learns through physical memory. If you let her experience it in battle, she'll quickly grasp the idea. Unijin explained, helping Master Karin back up, feeling a bit awkward. Really? She looks pretty clueless to me. Master Karin said doubtfully, I'm not clueless. I'm smart. Goku pouted and clenched her little fists. Alright, Goku, let's spar again. Amused, Unijin patted Goku's head. Okay, Goku stuck her tongue out at Master Karin, then resumed sparring with Unijin. This time, Unijin applied Master Karin's advice, adjusting his movements and intensifying his ki, quickly pushing Goku on the defensive. Master Karin nodded in approval. Unijin was progressing rapidly, having taken the guidance to heart, but the little girl seemed unchanged, fighting as she had before. Just when Master Karin thought the match would end soon, Goku began to turn the tide. With his keen insight, Master Karin quickly understood what was happening. Whenever Unijin corrected a flaw or improved his technique and Goku struggled against him, she would swiftly mimic his new moves and principles. Squinting his eyes, Master Karin stroked his beard. This little girl wasn't as clueless as she seemed. To be continued. 25 The miraculous sense of being. As the evening approached, the blood-red sunset spread over the sea of clouds. Goku and Unijin lay in the temple, panting heavily. Although they had only been training for a day, their gains were tremendous. In truth, while their raw strength and energy hadn't increased much, their actual combat power had significantly improved. Gurgle, gurgle. The sound of a growling stomach echoed, and Goku sat up, looking at Unijin. Unijin, I'm hungry. We ate all our food last night, Unijin said. Also sitting up, the two of them simultaneously turned to look at Karin the Hermit, their eyes filled with anticipation. Oh, it's been a long time since I last ate. Let's have a meal tonight, Karin said with a smile, then walked to a nearby room, with Goku and Unijin quickly following. Karin opened the jar, rummaged around inside, and pulled out a lively, jumping fish. No, we're having fish tonight? I want some too, Goku explained, hopping over and trying to grab a big fish from the jar. But the jar was empty. Why can't I catch anything? So strange. Goku looked puzzled, but Yujin wasn't surprised. There were many strange items in the temple, and jars or cupboards tucked in corners could very well be mysterious tools or artifacts that only Karin could use. Karin, using some unknown tools and skillful hands, soon prepared a fragrant grilled fish, and both Yujin and Goku couldn't help but swallow in anticipation. Saiyans have a huge appetite, needing to consume large amounts of food daily. It's practically genetic. They fear neither battle nor bloodshed, but they do fear hunger. Karin-sama, this fish is way too small. How can it be enough for us? Catch a few more. Goku pleaded. This is just for myself, not for you too. Karin replied. What? Not for us? Stingy. Karin-sama, you're so stingy. Goku huffed, puffing her cheeks in frustration. Here, this is for you. Karin tossed 2 beans to Goku and Yujin while munching on his fish. You're eating so well, and you only give us a single bean? Stingy. Stingy. Goku grumbled. You little brat, daring to call me names. These are senzu beans. Eating one will keep you full for 10 days. Karin retorted, twirling his whiskers, thinking to himself that this ungrateful girl had better watch out, or he wouldn't share any beans next time. You're lying. I don't believe it. Such a small bean can't possibly fill me up, Goku said, pouting. But since it was better than nothing, she put the bean in her mouth, chewed, and swallowed. It actually worked. I feel full. Goku's once flat belly had puffed out, and she burped in disbelief. Now you understand. Little girl, senzu beans are precious, so be sure to thank me, Karin said smugly. Goku scratched her head, realizing she had wrongly accused Karin. Yujin, watching with amusement, inspected the bean in his hand. This was the legendary senzu bean. In the original Dragon Ball world, there were many valuable items and treasures. The Dragon Balls, capable of granting any wish, were undoubtedly the most significant. But in Yujin's view, the senzu beans ranked second. Eating one bean could keep someone full for 10 days, and rapidly restore all injuries and fatigue. It was incredibly convenient. The main character Goku and his companions had relied on senzu beans to survive numerous crises during their battles with enemies. However, senzu beans were difficult to cultivate, and the number produced was always very limited. In the early stages of the Dragon Ball story, Karin still had many in storage, but later, after Yanjiro made a bunch of them like regular beans, they became very scarce. Then on, whenever Goku and his friends sought senzu beans from Karin, they could only get a few at a time. Putting the senzu bean into his mouth, Yujin wanted to experience for himself whether the legendary bean was as miraculous as described. It had no particular taste, just like a regular bean, but as soon as Yujin swallowed it, he quickly felt the difference. All his fatigue and hunger vanished, and a feeling of satisfaction spread from his stomach, as if he were brimming with energy. His eyes gleamed with amazement. While the reserve was still plentiful, it would be wise to ask Karin for more of these fantastic beans later. When there was time, it might even be worth researching how to grow more or expand the production. But all event could wait for the future. The priority now is to continue increasing his strength. Let's call it a day. I need to rest. I'll resume guiding your training tomorrow, Karin said, yawning after finishing his grilled fish. Yujin and Goku thanked Karin and returned to the main hall. Karin had his own bedroom and cozy bed, but Yujin and Goku had no such luxuries. Still, they didn't mind. Yujin lay down on the temple's outer balcony, while Goku lay down on top of him. Goku, we must train hard in one day and become the strongest in the universe, Yujin said, reaching a hand toward the starry sky. Blinking her large eyes, Goku looked at Yujin and nodded. Okay. The simple-minded Goku never thought much about such things. If Yujin said they should become the strongest in the universe, then they would train hard to achieve it. In the days that followed, Yujin and Goku continued to train under Karin's guidance in the temple, improving daily. Apart from their temple training, they would occasionally go down to the ground to hunt some game. While eating a senzu bean could keep them full for 10 days, using it as regular food was wasteful, and senzu beans didn't have much flavor. For taste, real food was still better. Bye, Aura. Bye, Yuka. See you tomorrow. Yujin and Goku waved to Bora and his son as they hauled a large game animal up Karin Tower. Watching the two disappear into the sky, little Yuka waved excitedly, while Bora looked on with admiration. Yujin, Son Goku, what extraordinary people. To be continued. P.S. Master Karin is also referred to as Master Conan, so if you guys read it somewhere during the chapters, it is not an error. Also, this is the first week after the release of fiction, so I will post 5 chapters for the whole week. Starting next week, weekdays will receive 1 chapter update, while weekends will receive 2 chapters. 26th, the Yin Yang Fist. The sun rises and sets. Spring passes and winter comes. Soon, a year had passed since Yujin and Goku began their training atop Karin Tower. On this day, thunderous sounds echoed above the sea of clouds, as 2 figures clashed intensely in midair. Surprisingly, they were 2 identical Yujin. Both their appearances and auras were exactly the same, the only difference being that one had the character Yin on his forehead, while the other had the character Yang. This was a martial art Yujin developed during his year of training on Karin Tower, called the Yin Yang Fist. When using the Yin Yang Fist, Yujin could split himself into 2, manifesting 2 immortal forms, Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin. The 2 Yujin shared a unified mind and soul, yet could act independently, and, more importantly, they possessed the same strength as the original Yujin. Although Goku was a decent training partner, she was still too young, and her strength fell far short of Yujin's. Whenever Yujin sparred with Goku, it was merely practice in martial arts and techniques rather than a full-strength battle. This prompted Yujin to consider whether he could create a martial art that would allow him to split himself in 2 and fight against himself. Given Yujin's current martial arts level and experience, creating such a technique was a bit challenging, but with the suggestions and guidance of Karin, he finally developed the Yin Yang Fist. While it was still far inferior to techniques like the Kaioken, there was no doubt that it was a powerful martial art. Whether it was Yin Yujin or Yang Yujin, both possessed the same strength as the original Yujin. Not only could this technique help identify his weaknesses and improve during sparring, but it was also extremely useful in real combat. It could be said that the coordinated efforts of Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin, who shared a unified mind, could easily unleash a battle power several times greater than the original Yujin. Of course, this martial art was not without its drawbacks. Once the Yin Yang Fist was used, Yujin's energy would be depleted of double the rate. If the original Yujin could fight for 100 hours, then after using the Yin Yang Fist, he could only last for 50 hours, a simple principle of energy conservation. However, compared to its advantages, this drawback wasn't significant. Even if the duration was half, what did it matter? As long as he defeated his enemy before his energy was exhausted, that was enough. If using the Yin Yang Fist still wasn't enough to win, then what's the point of fighting? It would be wiser to flee and save one's life. Returning to the current situation, Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin were still fiercely battling above the sea of clouds, each clash causing a massive depression in the cloud layer. Fighting against each other felt like fighting against oneself. With identical equal strength. Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin were evenly matched, with no clear victor. In such a scenario, the only way to win was to break one's limits during the fight. Only then could there be a chance of defeating the opponent. With a bang, the two clashed again and then withdrew, creating some distance. Their hands moved like wheels, as Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin launched hundreds of energy blasts at each other, turning the Sea of Clouds into a scene of explosions. On planet Vegeta, to fire such powerful energy blasts would require at least a factual power of over 1,000. But if detected with the Scouter, Yujin's current power level was still only a few hundred. To launch such potent energy blasts with only a few hundred power level was simply unbelievable. It showed that Yujin's understanding and mastery of energy had reached a high level. Yujin, go, go. On the temple above, Goku was jumping and cheering for Yujin. With two Yujin below, she probably didn't even know which one she was rooting for. But it didn't matter. Both were Yujin, so she cheered for them together. After a round of energy blasts without a decisive outcome, Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin soared into the sky. They brought their hands together at their waists and prepared. Came, hey, as their palms thrust forward, two massive waves of energy surged through the Sea of Clouds and collided, resulting in boom, a deafening explosion, blinding light, and violent energy burst in all directions. Both Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin were swept up and flung away. It took a while for the chaos to finally settle. Astonishingly, where there was once an endless sea of clouds, a massive void nearly a kilometer wide that appeared. Puff, puff, panting heavily, Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin exchanged a glance, and both couldn't help but smile wryly. Yet another draw. This was to be expected. One's greatest enemy is often oneself. How difficult it is to surpass oneself. In nearly 100 battles between Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin, the instances where one managed to break through the limits and defeat the other were rare. Only a handful of times so far. Approaching each other, Yin Yujin and Yang Yujin merged back into one, with the Yin and Yang characters on the forehead disappearing, becoming a complete Yujin once again. Countless insights flooded his mind, and a gleam flashed in Yujin's eyes. Although this battle did not allow him to break through his limits, it still yielded significant benefits. Yujin, Goku's voice rang out as she jumped down from the temple. Yujin's face darkened slightly. This reckless girl dared to jump down despite not yet mastering the sky dancing. Unafraid of falling to her death, he quickly moved to catch the falling Goku. Until you've mastered the sky dancing, don't just randomly jump down like that. Tapping Goku's little head, Yujin chided her lightly. Yujin will catch me anyway. Rubbing her head against Yujin, Goku replied nonchalantly. Shaking his head in resignation, Yujin slowly rose with Goku in his arms and landed back on the temple. Master Cardin, thank you for your guidance all the time. Unfortunately, I feel like I have reached a bottleneck. After setting Goku down, Yujin addressed Cardin. Indeed, that is true. There isn't much more I can teach you here as well, so it's about time you should leave and discover the bigger world out there. However, before you go, I have a gift for you. Stroking his cat beard, Cardin nodded and then raised his staff. To be continued. P.S. I changed the Yin Yang Immortal Fist to the Yin Yang Fist. The name originally designated by the author has too many ancient novel vibes, so I deemed it necessary to change it. Also, guys, it is a new book, so I request